Moonless sky over Serbia, March 27, 1999. A black triangle cuts through cloud, an F-117A Nighthawk, built to be a ghost. No lights, no chatter. Just rain on the canopy and the deep hum of a hidden engine. Far below, the countryside sleeps in patches of darkness. Roads glimmer with thin lines of headlights. Somewhere in that dark, radars are turning. Somewhere, men are waiting. Inside the cockpit, the pilot breathes slow, hands steady, instruments calm. He is a shadow among shadows until the night answers back. A flare of light blooms on the horizon, then another. Two bright points rise from the earth, threading up through cloud like spears. Alarms snap alive. The headset fills with static, then a strained voice over the net. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Vega 3-1, I'm on the way down. The jet bucks. Metal screams. For a heartbeat, the sky turns orange, a rolling fireball swallowing the night. Fragments spin away, glowing, then fade into black. On the ground, a stunned crew stares upward, eyes wide in the rain. Someone whispers, almost afraid to say it aloud. Another shouts, triumphant, over the diesel rumble and radio crackle. They've done the impossible. They've hit the ghost. Above, the pilot fights for control that isn't there. The world tumbles. The horizon is everywhere at once. He reaches, pulls, feels the brutal punch of escape. And then, sudden silence. A lone parachute opens against the dark. The wind hisses. Far off, sirens begin to wake. The myth of invisibility drifts toward a muddy field, and the question hangs in the cold air. How did they see him? Aviano Air Base, Italy. Just after sunset. Red work lights glow along the flight line, painting tools and hands the color of blood. Crews move with quiet speed, checklists, safeties, final pins. The rain has eased, but the air is still wet and cold. Under the shelter's edge sits a black triangle, all edges in shadow. F-117A Nighthawk. Call sign, Vega 31. Nickname stenciled small near the nose. Something wicked. Lieutenant Colonel Dale Zelko walks in from the ops building, helmet under his arm. Desert Storm veteran, calm face, focused eyes. He's flown this dance before. He climbs the ladder and settles into the cockpit like he's stepping into a secret. Battery on. Screens bloom in green. A last glance at the mission card. Target near Belgrade. Two 2,000-pound laser-guided bombs locked in the bay. Outside, the night war is already in motion. But the weather is bad. Too bad for escorts. No EA-6B jammers tonight. No comforting wall of noise to blind enemy radars. The F-117s will go alone, silent and unjammed. On the ramp, a crew chief taps the fuselage twice and gives him a thumbs up. Zelko returns it, closes the canopy, and the world becomes small and green. He runs the checks, hydraulics, fuel, nav, everything steady, everything green. He breathes once, slow and deep, and lets the day fall away. Stealth engaged, he thinks, easing the throttles forward. Ground control soft in his ear. Vega 31, cleared for taxi, good hunting. He rolls out, a dark shape sliding past red-lit figures and coiled hoses. At the hold short line he pauses, then lines up on the runway. Black ribbon, white dashes rushing into the dark. Vega 31 ready. Vega 31 cleared for takeoff. Throttles up. Engines rise from hum to howl. The jet shudders, then surges. The runway lights blur. Weight lifts, gear up. A brief glow in the exhaust, then nothing. He disappears into the night. Inside the cockpit, only the soft hiss of air, the low engine note, the ticking of time. Radios fall quiet. He kills exterior lights and slides under cloud. Vega 31 airborne, en route to target. Aviano shrinks behind him. Ahead, a black horizon and a city at war. He levels, sets course, and becomes what the aircraft was built to be. A shadow. South of Belgrade, the night is thick and wet. A low hill hides a SA-3 Neva battery beneath a web of camouflage nets. Engines are off. Heaters cold. Breath fogs in the dark. Inside the command van, Lieutenant Colonel Zoltan Dani stands behind his men. No lights, only the faint outline of faces and the soft glow of covered gauges. Maps are pinned to a board with grease pencil marks, routes, altitudes, guesses. They've been moving all week. Set up, track, tear down, vanish. Never long enough for NATO to find them. Cat and mouse, but tonight the mouse is bold. A landline buzzes once, then clicks alive. A spotter's voice, low and urgent. Possible aircraft inbound. Get ready. Danny nods, even though the caller can't see. Understood. He replaces the handset gently, as if the sound could give them away. Radars stay silent. One burst too long and an anti-radiation missile will hunt them back. The plan is simple. Wait, then 3 quick pulses, no more. If there's a ghost up there, catch it in the blink. A crewman wipes sweat from his brow with a sleeve. Another checks the launcher elevation by touch alone. Whispers skate through the dark. Any sign? Not yet. Outside, the forest breathes. Far off, thunder rolls, the kind that comes from bombs. The netting shivers in a gust, then settles. Danny leans over the radar console, hand hovering near the power. He counts in his head, weather sweep, cloud drift, the timing of the last waves of strikes. He trusts patterns. He trusts patience. Stay sharp, he says quietly. He'll be here. The van creaks as someone shifts their weight. A pencil ticks against a knee. The heartbeat in the score grows almost imperceptibly. A minute, another. Then, just a breath of a nod from the operator. Danny lowers his hand to the switch. Hunters in the dark, ready to see the unseen. Cloud tops roll like black waves. Vega 31 rides the seam between weather and night, a shape more idea than airplane. Zelko trims out and levels. Throttle steady, altitude set. He slides along a familiar corridor, one he and others have flown on recent nights. Predictable, efficient, dangerous. Below Belgrade lies mostly dark, a city holding its breath. A few stubborn windows glow. Far suburbs flicker from earlier strikes. He keeps his radio cold, eyes on the symbology. Heart rate calm, hands light. The targeting image blooms through haze, soft, grainy, but good enough. He slews, refines, holds. The aim point settles, a pale square in a world of gray. Master arm, on. Weapons, 2,000-pounders, guidance waiting on the laser. He checks wind, drift, time to go. Bombs away. Hydraulics whine. Bomb bay doors open. A brief metal yawn that changes the airplane's shape to the outside world. 2 cylinders drop clean, tuck into the slipstream, and fall. The doors close with a thump. The jet grows slick again, vanishing back into theory. Zelko banks, smooth and measured, arcing away from the target. In his ear, only the hush of air. No tones, no warnings. Delivery felt right. He allows himself a thin breath, almost a smile. On the ground, a dull beep pokes through storm noise inside a cramped van. A radar operator leans forward, finger pressed to glass. The green sweep shows a smear, then a blip with intent. "Chilj, target," he barks, voice cracking. Chairs scrape, men snap to stations, paper cups spill. Danny's head lifts at once. "Lock and fire," he says, controlled and quiet, as if ordering tea. Servos whir. A targeting scope tightens its circle. For a breath-long window, the Nighthawk is tangible. Doors just closed, signature still fattened by that momentary change. Back in the cockpit, Zelko rolls wings level, trimming the tiniest buffet out of the jet. The city slides beneath his nose, a dark ocean with islands of sodium orange. His threat warning stays mute, by design, by faith, by the limits of stealth and sensors. He does not know the ground has seen him. At altitude, the bombs kiss their laser and race downward, pinpoints drawing straight lines through rain. Far behind him, two bright flashes pulse against the low clouds, followed by the slow, rolling thump of impact. In the van, needles spike. A launch officer's thumb hovers, then drops. Metal clanks. Circuitry sings. Somewhere in the murk between cloud and earth, predator and prey have traded places. And neither knows it yet. A thumb drops. Fire. From the tree line, two SA-3 missiles leap off the rails in quick succession, kicking white fire and dirty smoke into the rain. Launch tubes shudder. Camouflage nets snap and billow. The night, quiet for hours, explodes into motion. Villages miles away look up from dark courtyards. Two bright spears stab the clouds and vanish. Inside Vega 31, the world flickers. A sudden bloom of light below smears Zelko's night vision. He blinks hard, head snapping left, then right. There. 2 points, rising fast. His mind says it before his mouth can. Missile launch. Throttle nudges forward, instinct. Left pedal, stick over. He shoves the jet into a brutal sliding turn and starts down, trying to trade altitude for time. The F-117 isn't made for this. Its edges want smooth air and clean lines, not knife fights with physics. The first missile scythes past his right side, a white-hot needle-splitting darkness. The shockwave slams the Nighthawk sideways, the jet bucks, canopy rattling, harness biting his shoulders. He tastes metal. Warnings erupt, tones, voices, red light flooding the cockpit. Pull up, pull up. Come on, come on. He fights the stick. It feels dead, like it's stirring cement. He picks a new vector, rolls again, tries to force energy where there isn't any. A second sun ignites off his left wing. Detonation. Not a direct hit. Worse, a proximity burst. A cloud of razor fragments rakes the composite skin. Panels tear. Lines sever. The left wing erupts orange, a flower of flame shredding in the slipstream. The Nighthawk lurches, then lets go. Attitude vanishes. The horizon becomes a wheel. Instruments blur into a carousel of red. He slammed down, then pinned upward. -7G hauling him toward the canopy. Blood drains, fingers numb, breath won't come. Pull up, pull up. No, no. It rips out of him, raw and useless. The jet is tumbling, end over end, a black anvil tossed by a giant. The stick answers to nothing now. A strange, thin calm slides in on rails. This is really, really, really bad. Muscle memory wins where thought cannot. He reaches. Both hands find the ejection handles. He feels the familiar cold ring of them through his gloves. On the ground, the SAM crew stands frozen in the launch glow. Then someone laughs, disbelieving, cracked with relief. A fireball blooms behind the cloud deck. Danny doesn't celebrate, he just watches, jaw tight, eyes tracking one tiny shoot blooming in the dark. We got it. Target down. He keys the mic, voice low, stunned. In the cockpit, air screams. The spin tightens. Rivets shriek. He pulls. Explosive bolts hammer. The canopy punches free. An instant later, the seat detonates beneath him, an iron fist to the spine. The jet peels away like a burning leaf, shrinking as he shoots into cold night. Then, cut. A thin cord yanks. A violent snap. Silence pours in. Above him, fabric blooms. Below, Serbia waits. The world stops spinning. Zelko explodes out of the wreck and into cold night air. A roar, a punch, and then silence. He blinks hard, For a heartbeat, there's nothing but stars and the thin hiss of wind past his helmet. Above him, the chute snaps open. He looks up and his stomach drops. The canopy is orange-white, bright as a flare under the near full moon. It's glowing like a beacon. Below, dark fields slide by, lines of hedges, a farmhouse here, a road there. Far away, sirens begin to rise. Headlights bloom and multiply, turning and converging. Pieces of his jet tumble down like burning leaves. He forces his hands to move, checks the risers, corrects the swing. Breath in, breath out. Keep it simple. Stay alive. He reaches to his vest and finds the survival radio. Training says wait, don't transmit in the open. But time is running out and the ground is waking fast. He keys the mic, voice even by will alone. Mayday, 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 Vega 3-1, I'm on the way down. A second of empty sky. Then the radio crackles. A distant, steady voice. American, calm. Roger, Vega 31, we see you. Hang tight, help is coming. Relief hits like warmth. He isn't alone. The fields rush up. He scans for wires, ditches, trees, picks a dark patch of earth. Knees bent, elbows in, impact, thump, roll, dirt in the mouthpiece. A hot stab through his ankle, sharp, then dull. He's breathing. He's whole. He pops the quick releases and hauls the glowing canopy in, wrestling it into the furrows. Fabric hisses over mud. Engines growl somewhere close. Voices. A dog barks, frantic and near. He drags the last of the chute under a hedge, drops flat and stills his breath. The radio is a small weight in his palm. He squeezes it once, then lets it go. Night air, wet earth, footsteps in the distance. He is alive. And now the real waiting begins. He runs low, hunched against the night, boots slipping in wet furrows. The parachute drags behind him like a flag he can't afford. He yanks, folds, stuffs it into a hedgerow, then sprints again, one field, then another. He aims for what he saw on the way down, a drainage ditch cutting a black seam through the farmland. Muddy, overgrown, perfect. He slides over the lip and vanishes into reeds and muck, belly to earth. Cold mud climbs his sleeves, water seeps into his collar. He presses himself smaller, smaller, until the ground feels like a shield. Silence holds for a minute. Then the night erupts. Engines snarl, doors slam, voices, many, roll across the fields. Flashlights begin to stitch white lines through the dark. A truck grinds to a stop on the road above him. Boots hit gravel. The search fans out. Spread out. Find the American. A voice orders in Serbian, close enough to feel. He slows his breath. In, out, count. Sear kicks in. Don't move when the light moves. Move only when shadows cover you. Hands flat, pistol close. Radio silent. Beams sweep the ditch. One lingers. He stares at the dirt inches from his nose, refusing the urge to look up. Boots tromp past, splash in the shallow water a few yards down. A man stops. A cigarette ember glows, floating in the dark. Smoke drifts. Anything? Another calls. A beat. The ember turns. Nothing. They move on. Minutes stretch, then knot into hours. Rain comes and goes in thin sheets. The ditch becomes a slow brown river. He shifts only when cramp becomes pain, then freezes again as lights return. Far away, the ground trembles. NATO strikes, rolling the horizon. The distant thunder is a comfort and a cover. Each rumble swallows the tiny noises he can't help making. A sleeve brushing reed, a breath leaking through teeth. A dog barks, sudden and sharp. Shouts answer it, moving left, away from him. He lets a breath slide out, inch by inch. Time loses edges. He measures the night in passes of light, in engines rising and fading, in the cold finding seams in his flight suit. Just keep moving. Please keep moving, he tells the footsteps in his head. The search thins, The fields settle. Somewhere, a single car door closes. Quiet returns, not safety, but space. He stays in the mud, a shadow among reeds, waiting for a sound he's been listening for all night. Rotors in the dark. Over the fields, the night holds its breath. Then, faint at first, thump, 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 a new rhythm enters the war. Zelko freezes, head tilted, mud cold against his cheek. It's not trucks, not jets, rotors. Hope stirs like a spark cupped in hands. He edges up just enough to see sky between reeds, black on black, then the faintest pricks of infrared strobes drifting low. He squeezes his PRC 112. Voice barely above a whisper. Vega 31, here, I hear you. I'm here. Miles away, two MH-53 Pave-Lows slide across the border, hugging terrain, their crews reading green-lit screens and terrain-following cues. An A-10 Sandy circles higher, the calm eye coordinating chaos, ready to call support if the ground lights up. The weather sours, low fog, soft rain, but the Pave-Lows keep coming, nap of the earth, radar and nerves guiding them through black valleys. An MH-60 Pavehawk trails, the pickup truck for this job, lighter and quick. Rescue 1 to Vega 31. A voice crackles in his ear, steady, professional. We see you, vectoring in now. Zelko swallows. Copy, I'm ready. But knowing a man is somewhere in 1,000 acres of dark is not the same as putting eyes on him. The helos arrive in the vicinity and start to hunt. Slow arcs, instruments scanning, gunners scanning harder. Time stretches thin. Search parties hear it too. Across the fields, flashlights swing upward, then toward the sound. Someone fires. Wild, distant cracks stitching the air. Inside the lead pave low. Taking fire, keep it low. Sandy, we're committed. Proceed. Zelko pulls a small IR strobe from his vest. Training says be cautious. The situation says now. He flips it on and cups it, letting a thin, invisible pulse leak skyward. In the cockpit, night vision screens bloom. A sharp intake of breath. Contact! Contact! We have him! The Pavehawk breaks formation, banks hard, and drops into the field like a shadow falling. Rotor-washed tiers grass flat. Dust and chaff whirl in a halo. The crew chief's boots hit first. Two para-rescue men sprint, green phosphor reflections bright in their goggles. They almost trip over him, just a muddy shape in a ditch. Got him! Go, go, go! Hands grab his harness and haul. Zelko stumbles, half runs, is shoved into the cabin. The world contracts to metal and noise and hands on his shoulders. Rifle cracks pop in the distance. Tracers arc, lazy and late. Lift! Lift! The crew chief yells. The Hawk pivots, nose down, then claws skyward. Fields slide away, flashlights skittering beneath like frantic fireflies. The Pave-Lows turn with it, forming a moving wall. Inside, someone leans in, voice loud over the rotors. You okay, sir? Zelko exhales for the first time in hours. I am now. The formation fades into the rain, leaving only wind, darkness, and a ditch full of footprints where a ghost used to be. Pre-dawn, a hangar light hums somewhere safe. Zelko sits wrapped in a blanket, mud dried in the seams of his flight suit. Bruised, exhausted, alive. 8 hours from fireball to pickup, and only minutes ahead of the hands that were closing in. Back in Serbia, daylight exposes what night hid. Soldiers and villagers stand in damp fields around torn black metal. The invisible plane in visible pieces. Cameras crowd close. Children point. A tractor drags a scorched panel across the furrows. For the defenders, it's proof. Even ghosts can bleed. NATO weighs a grim option, erase the wreck before curious eyes carry it further. But the site swarms with civilians, and the chance evaporates. Pieces will travel anyway, boxed and studied far from the field where they fell. At base, Zelko says little. He debriefs, he sleeps, and, astonishingly, within weeks he straps in again and flies. The shock travels farther than any missile. For years, stealth had been a myth with wings, never shot down. Now there is an exception with a date and a call sign, Vega 31. Tactics adapt, routes change, lessons harden. In time, museum glass frames a jagged wing and a cockpit shell. Visitors lean in. Flashbulbs pop. Somewhere else, two men, once hunter and hunted, shake hands and trade a small, tired smile. In the end, a pilot was saved, and a myth was shattered. Technology met patience, chance met preparation. And for one long night, the sky remembered that nothing is truly untouchable.